All right. So Valerie, how do you feel?
Oh,
Like, what do you feel
good.
right now about the TME role? Like, what are your thoughts about what's going to happen or what you need to do? Or
I mean, I've seen people have done it and all that. There are different styles and so on.
Hmm?
Yeah, some is very casual, some is very formal, and so on. Yeah. So,
The reason I'm asking this, the first thing that we need to do during the coaching is mindset. That's the most important thing to help you reach. So for me to help you there, I first need to understand your current mindset, and then I'll take you to that mindset that will help you. So what would you say is your current mindset right now towards that role? Like, how do you envision it, or what risks do you see? What nervousness? What are you nervous about, or like, what do you feel?
I think as long as the flow is going okay and well, I know what's next and all that, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so right now you're just kind of thinking about memorizing and just kind of going with the flow. Just
Oh no, I'm
is
not
that the
memorizing. I mean, there's some things I would know and all that. Some speeches I would put in between, but I think it's a lot of on the ground when you hear people speak, you're able to evaluate and say, pick up things, and then say to put in between and all that. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I understand how you're thinking about it right now. Okay, so now I'm going to start telling you about the mindset that is recommended for this. Okay, so the
Mm,
first thing to know is that as a TME, you are one of the two project managers, but actually you're going to be the person on the ground leading it. You're going to be executing this. So the VPE is in the background coordinating with you, and then they hand it off to you during the meeting. So it's super, and you're going to dictate the tone throughout those 3 hours. So
mm,
I'll give you an example. Let's say that you're not feeling well, or you're nervous, or you feel bored, or low energy, whatever you feel. The meeting is going to feel like that for 3 hours.
mm,
It's very important that you understand that. So if you are feeling confident, um, you're in good mood, the meeting is going to feel more like that. So now what's important to know here is to picture what kind of energy, what do you want that meeting to feel like? Because you have until from now until that day to get yourself in that mindset to make that meeting feel that way. So that's something for yourself to kind of reflect on.
mm,
So you're going to be managing the meeting during the meeting. So it's very important that you already discussed with Sophie, I know that, but it's very
mm,
important that you understand all the inner workings of how that meeting is going to run, because you're executing it, right? So if you are not aligned with what's happening, the plan, when you're on stage, you're going to look confused, and that's going to make the meeting feel confused. You get what I mean?
yep.
And then when you think about all the chapter meetings you've been to, and the ones that maybe you didn't think were so good. If you reflect on those, the ones where you had like technical glitches or awkward moments, or they felt boring, or people were confused, those didn't feel like the most fun experiences to sit through. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is, but yeah. So then think about the ones that you were winning successes, what it felt like. So try to replicate that energy, because that's the experience you wanted to get people, and that's what you want to be remembered by. Okay.
Mm,
So important, like I said, important that you are in on everything that's happening. You have control. You understand what's going, and then that you understand that you're executing, and your mood is going to affect the meeting to another level. That you're not until you experience it, you're not fully aware of it. But once you're in it for 3 hours, you will immediately feel that your energy is reflected on the whole audience. You're going to realize that, and it's too late to figure that out during the meeting. So you have to have already gone through your head before it. Okay,
okay.
so that's the first thing. So you're not surprised by it. Second thing is, now we're going to discuss about risk. What can go right or wrong? Okay, I won't
Mm,
discuss the technical risk first. I'm going to first focus on the audience risk. All right,
mm,
because the
mm,
meeting is so long, you're going to experience ups and downs. You have to
mm,
you have to be okay with the ups and downs. So when there is a down moment, don't let it affect you. Don't think, oh, I'm doing a bad job. You just continue, and you will get it up and down. You will see it's going to go up and down, and you have to be okay with the downs, and you have to be okay, embrace the ups. All right.
So what's up and down? Sorry, can you give some
Up and
examples?
downs is like, you know, as you're sitting through a show and maybe you're watching a musical, you know, the musical could be amazing the whole way through. Or there could be moments where like, oh, this part's kind of boring, I'm tuning out. Or like, oh, this is kind of interesting, let me tune in. That's what I mean by ups and downs, right? Now, that is like how your audience is going to feel. And what's going to happen is that when you're on stage for 3 hours, you're going to feel your audience to another level. So when there's those ups and downs, it's going to be, that energy is going to be in you. You're going to feel it. So when you have, that's what I'm saying, when it's those down moments, you have to be already mentally ready in advance that when it feels down, I'm okay with it feeling down. I'm not going to let it affect me, because if it affects you, you're going to bring it more down, right? Because you dictate the mood. So you have to just like be able to be okay with the down moments and then figure out, okay, how do I get it back up? And then eventually you'll find your ways, okay? You're going to have ups and downs. The ups and downs are not going to be always because of you. It's going to be for many reasons. It could be that there's a speaker that just was boring, right? And that's like 5 to 7 minutes that the energy went down, and then you are conscious of it. I go, okay, I need to say something the moment I go up there, and before I introduce the next speaker, I need something to bring it up, right? Because you're so conscious of the feel in the room, right? And then if it's up already, maybe you don't need to go up there and say something to bring it up. Maybe you just say like, oh, it was amazing, or like, you know, just engage the crowd a bit. But you need to be conscious of those ups and downs, so then you understand when you need to step in to fix that mood. Okay, I'm going to give you now even a bigger picture here. I'm going to give you some information maybe you're not aware. Statistically speaking, there is a very close correlation between how good the show was and how many of those guests then become members. So there's been meetings where we had, let's say, 10 guests, but the meeting was really, really boring. It just like energy was low. It felt 0 will become members. I could literally honestly tell you none will become members from that meeting. But then you'll have meetings like, let's say you had Ron Kaufman, you know, the workshop. Were you there, Ron Kaufman?
Yep.
Ron Kaufman. It was exciting. And then even the rest of it still kept that energy up. You're going to have a significant number join. So let's say if you get something like 40%, that's like one of the highest, like 40% of guests becoming members. That's like unbelievable. That usually you want to aim at 20, 25. That's like that means that you delivered an excellent show. And when you see those numbers, like something for you to be proud of, like, wow, my meeting was so great that 25% of guests became members. So that's like a little KPI for you to learn about that. So it's definitely a direct correlation there. I'm telling you from experience that we have seen it over and over. So with that said, the goal is for you to deliver the best show possible, not just for yourself, but also for the club. Actually, the club benefits from you doing that, okay? So like I said, mindset, you're fully aware. There's going to be ups and downs, and then you learn tricks how to control it. So now I'm going to give you a few tricks. Okay. First off, when you're there and you're speaking, there's going to be for sure a moment where you feel you have lost the crowd. There's going to be for sure that's going to happen, all right? And at the beginning, they'll be engaged, and you probably have 10 to 15 seconds when you start to keep that moment before you start losing them. So it's good for you to understand that. But remember, it's going to go up and down the whole meeting. So you don't need to worry, but you realize you have that. So then the moment, if you start seeing it go down after 15 seconds, you realize that something about your delivery is not captivating them. So what's important there is not to panic. It's just to, okay, I'm conscious. I'm going to continue what I'm doing because right now I already have it in a certain flow. When I sit down, I get a few minutes to reflect. I'll be sitting, the BP will be sitting next to you, and they'll give you some coaching. It's like, oh, bring this up, or look at the audience, or something like that, right? And then you during those free moments, you're taking notes and thinking, okay, bring them up, or you need to kind of understand what is bringing them down. It could be they want more energy, more humor, or maybe they don't agree with your story. It could be a variety of reasons, right? So you need to kind of on your own very quickly assess, and you're going to have the VPE there. That's also going to give you a second opinion of what is going on, okay? Now, what usually disengages the audience the most? There's a couple of the main one as a TME that disengaging the most is being confused. I want you to assume that 50% of the people in that room have never been to that meeting. Like they don't know anything about the club, even though it's really like, let's say 25% and then 25% are new members. But if you assume that 50% of the room is their first time there, it will help you make sure they're not confused, because that's the number one thing that will cause you to lose the audience, them being confused. So because in the meeting agenda, we have a lot of little points that are like 1-minute segments where we say introducing speeches or introducing table topics. And that is your time to bring clarity to the room, to make sure they really understand what's next and why are we doing this, right? So if you assume it's 50% never been there, and you're kind of walking them through a 3-hour journey and keeping them engaged. So that's important that they understand. Number one is confusion. Number two thing that kind of brings that is usually it'll be around technical, not just technical glitches, but like there's some sort of confusion in the execution. It could be the slide is wrong, or something not working, or the microphones. That is very abrupt. That one like would just take, if they're engaged, they're like quickly getting disengaged, and you only have a few seconds to bring them back. So those ones there you have to do before the meeting. You really have to be thorough, go through the slides with the SAA, be 100% that the sequence matches what you expect to be up there. Have a little quick chat with all the speakers, make sure they know what's going on. You speak to the SAAs to make sure, like, okay, when this guy is about to finish, 1 minute left, start putting the mic on the other person. You are managing this meeting. You need to understand that if something is done wrong by the team, it's going to reflect on you, not because you're not doing your job, but because you are responsible for the mood, and that's going to affect the mood, right? So little things like that you do before, and you have to just be conscious of all the risk of what could go wrong. So that's the second one. So like I said, the first one is confused, which you understand. You have to be clear. Just assume half of them don't know. Second one is about the glitches, like kind of technical or like execution. So those are the two main things that will kill the mood, right? And not only that, what is very important that you realize is that it's going to have an emotional toll on you. So from today till Monday, you have enough time to walk yourself through how to handle when you're in those moments. So by Monday, it should not shock you, because if you literally just show up Monday, you'll be shocked, and then you literally will start just going down the wrong track, and then everybody's going to feel your energy. They're going to feel your lack of confidence, your confusion, and it's 3 hours. And that's it's going to be a long day for you if you feel people are not engaged for 3 hours, right? It's going to it's going to affect your confidence really badly. We have had a few last year, I won't give names, but like we had 2 times where TMEs, we didn't have time to coach them due to we didn't have availability of the BPEs. And I felt really bad seeing them go up there because they didn't get the coaching, their mindset, they had no clue about the mindset, and they just right away lost confidence. And it was just the whole meeting, they were just like shy, quiet, and it's just hard to stick through it. And you felt that they felt just broken inside. 3 hours would break you if you feel that the whole time. Okay, so get yourself emotionally ready for that. You're already naturally a strong speaker. You have a good tone of voice. And now what I would say is that, so confusion, you understand. The glitches, you understand. You do it before. Now it's about the next one is making it interesting. And that one's more subjective, right? Because not your whole audience is going to be interested in everything. It's impossible to have every point you talk about 100%. So you need to accept that it's going to be something like 20%, maybe 25 if you're lucky, right? And that's okay. As long as there's 25% tuning in, they bring that energy up, the feel of the meeting is going to feel good, right? So try to focus on something like that as opposed to 100. Don't try to make everybody happy. As you go through, so I'm going to just show the agenda here for a second, okay? Okay, you see my, let me share my screen here. One moment, please, sorry. Yeah, so I'm gonna change the screen. I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'm gonna just change it to another screen, all right? We are gonna do here. Okay, let me know when you see my screen, because now I'm not looking at what our video anymore. You see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. This is a meeting agenda, okay?
Mm.
Now let's go through it and predict the risk of the mood going up and down, right? Let's just predict it. And if you feel strongly about making changes, a sequence of things, you tell the VPE, because you need to deliver this. So if you feel it's too many down points and you feel you cannot bring the energy back up, then tell them, let's make some changes so I have the opportunity to bring it back up, okay? So let's go through this. So it's first going to start with Ganu, 5 minutes. He's a new SAA. He has been trained by Lisa, so he does have some training there, but he is still new. So the energy might be a little low. We cannot predict there, right? So most likely when you get introduced, it might come with a bit of a low, slightly, not completely clear energy, right? It might be good. We don't know. But if you really want to tackle that risk, maybe you want to have a call with Ganu. Maybe you want to speak to Ganu and coach him. Say, Ganu, you know what you could do to really bring it up? It's up to you. We're just looking at the risk. Hey, Ganu, maybe say this, or right before you introduce me, like do something funny or whatever you think works, right? And then, of course,
tomorrow I have a meeting with Ganu, Chanda, as well as Sophie. So SAA and VPE. So
then that's very good that Sophie you organized it, or Sophie? Or that's very good, actually.
I organized it. I mean,
because when you speak to him and you hear him do the presentation, you can already predict the energy the room is going to be in. And you know, you have all these actors to work with, and they only have certain capabilities. So you cannot force everybody to be a superstar like Thomas Chan or Irina. You have to work with what you have. But at least you predict, okay, the energy is going to be this level. I understand. I spoke to Ganu. So when I come in the room, this is the energy. So then let's pretend it's a little low. Let's just pretend that's what you predict. You might need to right away start with something to lift it up immediately. Like if you feel it's going to be low, right? Because if it's low and you keep it low, it's just going to stay low and it's going to affect your confidence, right? So then maybe here, I mean, if I was TME, maybe I'll say I'm going to have a really like something just out there first few seconds to wake people up and get them back in, right? Because I have a feeling that maybe here the energy will be low, right? I just small, like might be high, but just the risk is there. So then I start with something strong. The theme is learning journey. Maybe you make it engaging or educational, like, oh, people are curious. Whatever you feel tunes them in. You tune them in, and then maybe then you start showing the slides. So I'm gonna just grab the slides here. So the slides start here. We're gonna have music. Then Ganu, he's gonna go through the rules. We have the meeting agenda, and then here our mission. And then some guests are gonna go up. So hopefully that maybe you could help Ganu with some tactics on how to bring the guests and make it fun. That could be an idea. Yeah, that's a potential to get the energy up during the guest segment. So since you're executing it, yes,
together with him too. Yeah, up there.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Maybe I can be up there together with him too. Yeah.
If you feel that that's what you think will help, then do it. But the thing is that you need to have an introduction, so make it slightly awkward because you won't get that proper introduction. You get what I mean? What you could do is do your introduction. Like you could do this introduction. You ask them to stay on stage, then do the guest segment, and then ask them to sit. Or you could just say, Ganu, is it okay I do the guest segment? It's up to you how you want to do this. Okay?
Okay. Let me check with him.
You are the boss because you're executing the meeting. Everything is on you. So if you say, this is what I believe in, we're going to let you do it because I mean, you're executing it, right? It's not us. So we have to go with what you're saying.
But usually the SAA does the guest section, right?
Usually the SAA does that section, but it is flexible. If you want to change it, the TME has the option to do that. right? Because the TME has to execute it. So we have to go with what they believe in. In the end, the responsibility is to deliver a good meeting, right?
Yeah.
An engaging meeting. So if she sees it as too much of a risk, and she wants to do it, or maybe do the 2 people, it's up to Valerie how she thinks is best. But she is aware of the risk already. Here, maybe we could get the energy up. Maybe she wants to first be introduced, then the guest. You decide. You think about it. You have time to think about it, okay? For now, I'll leave it as it is, okay? Like here.
Yeah. Because I wanted to share, because it's a learning team, right? So I wanted to share what after the new guest has been up there. So I wanted to go up and say, oh, this reminds me of last time when I was just started out and so on, and share about my learning journey and how far I come. So kind of give them the inspiration and so on.
Yeah, because
So
maybe
that
you
you
want to.
can even say when you are up there also.
Yeah,
That's a
because
good
maybe you
point.
want first the guest, and then you come up and speak about what the guest said. You have to think about what you want, because they have to introduce you. That's very important in the introduction. Then everybody's gonna cheer for you coming on stage. You know, you get your grand entrance. So you have to think about the feeling. Does it feel awkward to then do the guest segment? Shouldn't you speak right away? And if you think you feel awkward, maybe just do this guest segment here. So you need to figure that out.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, this is the recommended approach, but you need to figure out what you think you can make work. Right? It's what you think you can deliver, and you're fully conscious what the feel that is important, the feel, the mood. So let's say, okay, here there's potential to bring it up. Maybe you have some tricks. Then maybe they introduce you, and then you do your speech. So now we have you have 5 minutes. If you want less time, we could do less time. If you want more, you let us know. But you need to you get between 3 to 7 minutes. That's the most important. 7.
Yeah, I think 5
7
minutes
might
is
be a
more.
little long.
Yeah, I think 5 minutes is more than enough. Yeah, so it should be
Yes.
fine.
So then what's important here is that you're gonna be introduced, and then I would suggest that you do something to just bring the energy back up. I have a feeling it's gonna be slightly low. This might be good, but there's that risk. So bring it up. And
Can I give a suggestion?
Sure.
So Valerie is very good at making us do the yoga exercises. I think,
okay.
yeah. So she can start with that. You know, you can make us stand up. You can make the crowd. Yes, do that.
But make sure it relates to this theme, right? Because otherwise it'll be confusing.
Yeah, so we are learning. It is all about learnings. The theme is about learning, right? By doing.
Yeah. So if you think you could do the yoga thing and make it feel like a natural link to the meeting theme, of course, do it. But if you think it's just going to be like a weird connection, then maybe think of something else. But if you could do it, why not? That'd be kind of cool.
Yes, you can tie it up, because if you think that with Ganu, or maybe there is a slight dip in the energy, so just to bring it up to the next level, you can ask the audience to stand up, and do you have 5 minutes? Just a small, I'm just giving a suggestion, a small exercise, and you learn by doing. That is the theme. If that's one way. I mean, if you have something else in your mind, go ahead.
Yeah. So Valerie, you have options there, and you think about it, what you think you could deliver. It's all about what you feel you have, like, the capability of delivering. So, but like you said, we pick this theme, so somehow people need to somehow relate whatever you're doing to this. It needs to be very obvious to them that the theme today is learning journey, and somehow they figure that out. Eventually.
I mean, I mean, I can do about something. It's not yoga, it's standing up or something movement, because a lot of people, when they go up a stage, they are nervous and so on. So maybe I said standing up and how do you stand and so on, to learn, like, to have this confidence to stand up and things like that, something like that. Yeah, so that they are moving there.
It is on there. They will stay there, and the audience, if just you want some movement and you want the audience to do, so come up with some move which can be funny, or which can.
I noticed that when they do that, the people are more engaged. I agree. When you do
Yes.
something like that, I have observed the same.
I mean, they will do that wherever they are. They will just tell them to raise yourself, stand up, and let's do this. Yeah.
Okay. So
stand
what
up,
I want
in or breathing out, say something. This is something to relax yourself, and you go up the stage and feel confidence, something like that. So I can standing up and also breathing, the yoga breathing. So it kind of link. So this is kind of learning how you learn to build yourself up for that confidence before you come up stage, something like that. Yeah.
So
Perfect.
breathe in, breathe out, and then you can even add like compliment your neighbor or compliment the person next
Yeah,
to
that's
you.
nice.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what I want, this is just for the training of the VPs. I'm going to make the point. So the first thing, people, is mindset. You discuss mindset with TME. Second, now we're discussing the agenda. So here we're going through the agenda slowly, and Valerie's already getting familiar with how the agenda and the slides are connected.
Yeah.
So you're fully aware that this sequence needs to match the agenda, otherwise it's going to get awkward, right? Like, let's pretend that it was like this slide. That'll be weird. They introduce you as like all of a sudden this slide, and they go back and forth, and oh, where is it? And then you, right? That just, you're killing that move seconds. See what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's so important the slides in the right order.
Correct. So I'll streamline together with Chanda tomorrow, or whoever the SAA is working on it.
Yeah, he's a very good professional. I spoke to him today, very quick. He understands fast. So I'm very happy with him as SA. So here you see, you have the 5 minutes, you figure out what you want to do, and then you have to introduce the president. That's me.
Yep.
As you know, I'm not the best speaker. I'm still mid-level. So here, the energy might go down. So within 2 months,
continue.
I'm not at Lisa's level yet. Maybe in 2 months, I'll start getting good, but we need to be honest and say, okay, it's going to be like mid-level, right? So
well, you're mid-level more than me, right? My first time.
So maybe I even give myself 3 minutes or something, but let's say we put 5, but I would suggest putting it maybe 3, because I still I don't want to bring the energy too down, but I have some plans of what I'm going to say. I'm trying to bring some humor here, and then I'm also thinking about the learning journey. So I try to bring some excitement. That's the tactic I'm going to take for Monday. So by tomorrow I'll finish my speech.
Okay.
So here you could be like, maybe you could tell Sophie, let's make it 3, because I'm not like able to bring the mood up so well. So 3 is okay, let's say, right? That's for an example.
Okay.
Then we go here, and that's just because we're just kind of feeling the room. And then in 2 months you could put 5, like my thinking. So now here we have yourself again.
Yeah.
After I finish. And then the purpose of the president, I'll explain to the VPEs and then the TME. The purpose of this role here is you have this actor that is going to do a speech that's going to be focused on just the theme and like bringing the crowd up, hyping it up, just like getting them excited about the theme. Here, you're doing a few things. You're explaining what the meeting is going to be about, what's going to happen. You're also going to introduce the theme. But the main focus here is that you are making sure people understand what they got in themselves into. Like I said, assume 50% of people have never been there. So you are getting people, this is what's going to happen. Like that's the feel you need to give, because otherwise people are confused and don't know what's happening.
Okay.
Right? So you're doing that. You're going to introduce the theme, but it's more important that you have to make sure the audience feels like they're following what's going on. They know, oh, this meeting, we're going to do this. And okay, I got it. Cool. Like that has to be very crystal clear. If you don't feel that's clear, keep on that until you feel they follow. The moment you feel they follow, then you could talk about other things. But maybe the first few seconds, you need to like bring it up by doing the yoga thing. And then maybe towards the end, you could do the explain the clarity. You decide the sequence, but it just before you finish, they have to be understanding what's happening here in this meeting.
Okay, guys, I have to leave now.
Sure. Thanks for joining.
All the best.
Take care, Sonali.
Fine, Valerie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Actually, there's this one. There's my name. When I introduce them, when I'm talking, you have a flash into the team, right? Learning journey. Yeah.
So the way the sequence right now, they're doing the introduction, and then if you have the clicker, I don't know how you guys are doing the clicker. Maybe you have to discuss it with the SAA. Like if you have a clicker, if the SAA presses the button, you guys decide. Then eventually, you decide when this slide comes up. Maybe you don't want to have the slide yet. Maybe you want to do your yoga thing here and do something else. And then when you're ready, it's like, okay, here's the theme, right?
Okay.
But very important that before it comes to me, people understand what is a Toastmasters meeting, what's going on, and What have I gotten myself into? And how could this be of value to me? Kind of like they need to feel that a little. Then the whole purpose of the president, I won't explain the meeting. I'm just going to talk about the theme, and I'm just going to bring some hype to the club. Like, oh, teams, yes, the theme is like so exciting to be here. That's like the purpose here, right, of the president. And then from there, I'll end. I'll probably do only 3 minutes. I'm going to try a few tricks to see how I engage the crowd so I could develop myself as a opening speaker as well. And then you'll come back on. So actually, I would even suggest to have like this, because then it goes from me, then it goes back to you. Just as kind of clear to people, right? And then you click it and you do the appointment holders.
Oh, okay.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think maybe that's a little more smooth flow. So then here you're appreciating the appointment holders. Okay, what's important here? First of all the pictures should be here. So that's one thing. Second is that I'm going to tell you something here so you understand. We engage people. We have this concept of engagement points. That means that when people feel engaged in a meeting, they feel they grew or something, like they have some sort of like, oh, okay, it was worth my time coming. Okay. Now the people that are doing the role holders, most of them are not getting a chance to speak. So how do we make them feel engaged? It's by this. This here goes a long way to make them feel they got some value. So if you rush through it, you have this entire group of people feels less value that they came to the meeting tonight, right? But if you put some emphasis here, all of a sudden you have made this group of people feel more recognized and like, oh, I really enjoyed coming there because I got recognized, and like, they feel good, right? So you have 2 minutes here. You could get creative how you want to do this. You could say the people that set up the meeting, or you could just say the names, or you could choose how you want to say it. I would focus a lot on the new people, like videographer Olivia Lim, I'll counter, and these are brand new members, first time, like,
yes.
So it's important that you give a little extra recognition to them, so they feel good, like they wanna come back and do another meeting role, right?
Yep.
So if you completely ignored them, like let's say CT is her first time, she's like, oh, that was not worth my time. Why would I do a meeting role again, right? That was like work, and no one even cared. But if you introduce it and show the importance a little bit there, it really goes a long way.
Okay.
So that's that there.
Wait, I need to ask, what's the host about? There's a host name there and a picture of
yeah, perfect that you asked that. The host, yes. So we have a few roles here. They're a bit meant to help some of the exco. So the VPMs, there's 2 of them, and they're going to be manning the reception. The host is we're using now exco members, but like you have to be host one time in the year, for example. Every exco has to do it one time only. What happens here is that you are the reception desk and you're helping the BPMs to check in people. It could be to greet them, to put the name badges, to just tell them about the food, to help get chairs. You're just like learning how it works, the reception, getting to meet people, learning how it works about people entering our meetings, making them feel welcome. And then the main thing is that you're helping the BPM. So they're going to manage it, and they're going to basically instruct the host what they need help with. If you get no instructions at all, then you're just kind of a greeter, and you're just helping them check in. But if you get instructions from the BPMs, like let's pretend that one didn't show up. Let's just pretend that, right? And you only have the host and the BPM, and the BPM has to like deal with some things in the room. Maybe they go say, Sugu, can you help check in all guests? This is how you check in guests. I need to deal with these things here because there's only one of me, and that might be the situation. So there's a little more work, responsibility there to check in the guest through Eventbrite and do it properly. So that's the host in a nutshell, like reception. Make sense?
Got it.
Okay, got it. So we continue here. You understand this here and the value it brings. Then here you're going to start the prepared speeches. You get 1 minute to introduce this. You could do it any way you want. But what is important here is that you're about to go from one segment, this is the start, to now we're going to get things started. And at our club, or today, we're going to start with 7 speeches?
7. Yep.
7 fantastic speeches. that you're going to learn. You could decide to do it anyways. Like, this is from members that for weeks or whatever you want to say, that somebody has never been there. It's like, okay, so these are people that like are just kind of learning, like they've just been working on this, or they got coaching, or whatever you want to say, so people understand why there's 7 people going on stage and speaking, right? So then you do that, and you also make these people feel good, because this is their time to shine. So you do your best to kind of like make them feel good. You only have 1 minute here, so you probably need to focus mainly on just making sure it's crystal clear for the audience what is happening now with the speeches. From there, you're going to then introduce the timer. The timer CT, never has done it before. So here you have a risk that the person is going to be confused. So the VPE is already aware to send them a script and coach them. But because you're executing the meeting, in the end, like if they don't do a good job, it reflects on your show, right? So you want to keep an eye to see, hey, CT, do you feel okay? Maybe check, or, oh, I'm a bit, then maybe you step in and help make sure that they're ready. But if it's already, the BP is supposed to do it, but just in case, you know that this is a risk. This is her first meeting. She won't know what's going on, and you want to give her a good experience, and you want to help her feel comfortable to express the timer role in an exciting way, right? Then you have the out counter, who's gonna do like, hi, I'm the out counter. I'm gonna do this today. So it could be done in many ways. There's a script that they could read, which is a little boring if they just read a script. Or you could just give them some insight on like how to say it in an engaging or fun way, natural way. Up to you. If you have the time, you coach them. If not, then the BPs are doing it. But like I said, you want to control all risks. So it's good that you kind of are aware of their capabilities before the show starts, right? So then if you realize, okay, it's going to be very low energy here, you're kind of aware and you know how to stop them. Instead of them reading the whole scripts, like, just read this part here and just remember the bell, 30 seconds of bell, and then you kind of control it. They just speak maybe 30 seconds. So you decide, you figure out the risk. And then it's going to come to the first speaker, okay? Here's where you need to learn a little bit the format. So maybe you take some notes here. There's a second document now that I'm going to show you, which actually in the same document. Here's the TME script, okay? So the TME script here is the same thing, but we added the introduction.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's one sequence here that is not obvious, and that is that you need to introduce the project to people. Like pretend no one's for half of them never been there. So the way it works, let me see if this document shows it in a way that is easy to understand. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it does kind of interest. It does do it a little bit. Okay.
What's this?
So then we introduce the speaker. This is like a script that we have. I'm going to share with you here. A script that we have. I mean, it's just like how you can do it, but it doesn't mean you have to do it this way. It's just like if you really just want to read it, read this, kind of thing, right? But the proper sequence is that now to introduce prepare speeches. Today we have project. So this is a project, which is going to be writing a speech with purpose, dynamic from the pathway dynamic leadership level 1. Yeah. You see it from this pathway, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to introduce this project, because what happens here is that half of the audience doesn't know what you're talking about. All of a sudden you see something about a project. It's like, oh, don't know what this never heard of this project, right? So then the evaluator, you're going to call the evaluator. So yeah, it's important that you realize who's the evaluator. So in the script, is it here? Sorry, here. Oh, yeah, I need to ask him to add the evaluator here. I make a note of that. 1 second here. So VPEs, if you're watching the video, please, for the TME script, add the evaluator somewhere here so then the TME can see right away the name. 1 second here. EV in the TME script. Okay, perfect. So in this case, you're going to have to scroll a little down because the evaluator here is going to be DJ, Dhananshi Sharma, which is DJ. Okay. So then to introduce the project, can we have a DJ? Let me see here the exact wording. Yes. No, this is. Mhm. Okay, here we go. The next speaker of the evening, or for the first one, be the first speaker, and you kind of go this way. Can we have the evaluator, DJ Dhananjay Sharma, read out the project objectives, right?
Yeah, correct.
And then the evaluator gets up from their chair and they said,
Wait. You need to introduce the evaluator and say some points, right? Because the evaluator
no,
also.
here you don't introduce the evaluator, you just call the evaluator out. Because later on, here you're going to introduce the evaluator in the second part.
Okay.
So
Got
here
it.
you just need to call the evaluator to read the project description.
Okay, got it.
Now I'm going to tell you one part that is a little hard to memorize, but hopefully you do. You only need to do it per different project. Now, might not make sense, so let's do the following. Let's pretend that these are 3 icebreakers in a row. Okay? Only in the first icebreaker you need to call the evaluator, because the next 2 are the same project and the audience already understands these are icebreakers. So then when you go to the 4th speech is a different type of project. Then you go to introduce the next project. It's kind of like that, right? So then, of course, it'd be nice that you put the same projects together because there's one less introduction of the.
Got it.
Yeah, but in this case, we don't always do that. Like, see here, we have the top and the bottom. They're the same project, but they're being set separately. And one of the main reasons there is because the energy levels. The BPs are playing around with the energy levels, right?
So the night, each of the evaluator has to say, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, every time it changes projects, which it looks like it changes projects every time for yours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if they were all icebreakers, you just do the first.
Okay, got it.
Right, but yours are all different, so you have to do it each time. So then you'll just call the evaluator. Can I call Dhananjay Sharma to read the project objectives? Right. Then DJ is going to take the evaluator form, and he's just going to read it. So in this example, let me just grab one evaluator form, which is. Let me just get one. So you just kind of get a feel of what they'll read, okay?
Yeah, I know. It's okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. And then, sorry. Evaluator form, is it here? Now let me just go to the bottom. Now here it is. This project is the project to learn the basic blah, 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 blah. Good luck with your speech. That's what they should say, right? DJ should read this and then say good luck to them. In case you don't hear it, because not everybody is the same. Not everybody, maybe DJ forgets.
Yeah.
Always say good luck. It makes people feel good, right?
Okay.
So then if you're just kind of keeping an eye, okay, they missed it, that's fine. And then Glendon, good luck with your speech. The floor is yours, something like that.
Yep.
Right? Then no, sorry. First, they read it out, and then you will introduce Glendon. Sorry, I apologize for that. So after the evaluator reads it, you're gonna introduce Glendon. So you're gonna go. Okay. The next speaker I would actually recommend to say the next speaker, or the first speaker is an avid animal lover, blah, 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 blah. Welcome on stage, Glendon. I think it sounds better that way. So you could change this, or you could just read this here. But in my opinion, when you do it like the next speaker and then you say the name at the end on stage, kind of sounds a little better, right?
Okay. So let me recap. So you talk about the pathway, the project, and so on. Introduce the evaluator, the name, and then after that, say thank you, and then after that, talk about the speaker, and also
you introduce the speaker.
Yeah, introduce the speaker. Yeah, and then say again the speech title and say all the best or something. I'll come up, invite you to the stage to your
speech. So the evaluator says the project objectives. You just call their name. Thank you, Dhananjay. The timing sequence. You don't need to call the timer each time. Just say the timing sequence. The timing sequence for this project is 5 to 7 minutes.
Mm.
So I don't recommend doing this part here. This is like the basic one, but I would just say the timing sequence is 5 to 7, because if you keep going back and forth with the timer, it gets a little awkward. You know what I mean?
No, as in, no, the timer is only speak once, right? The timer is going to say
The
once.
timer
You're going to
speaks here and they just introduce their role. Now, the timing needs to be said for each one. So here in this script, you see that they're
okay.
calling the
But
timer, right?
all the speeches is the timer is not just introduce their role. They're going to tell the speeches, this is
No,
5 to 7, what you do.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need to do that. I mean, if you want to do it this way, up to you, but I would recommend to just have the timer here at the beginning. They do introduction. And then here, you just say the timing sequence for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. You just say, because I think it's a better flow. You know what I mean? Like for you to call the timer, they get up. It's a little awkwardness, right?
No, I'm not calling the timer again. I mean, the first time when the timer talked about it, he said the speeches today is 5 to 7. At 5, I'm going to change this and that. That's it. So later,
I'm going to say icebreakers 4 to 6. Some are 5 to 7. In this example, I think all are 5 to 7. Am I correct? Yeah. So
except the last one is
one's 10 to 12. So the timer is just going to say. But what happens at every project, you're just supposed to say the timing
again.
It's not just for the audience, but also the speaker to be reminded. Like you're making it a little official, right?
Okay.
Okay,
So
you're up. You're going to speak now.
say
You have 5 to 7 minutes, kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Do I say or don't say? You were saying?
I think it's better you say it. You see here, like it says to call the timer. In this script that we have, but I think it's a better flow when you just say it. The timer speaks here already. I think that's sufficient. And then if you say it, I think my opinion is less awkward, because if you go between people, there's like a little like transition that gets weird, right?
Yeah, no. So that means after every speech, I mean before the speech start, I have to say, I said the speech is from 5 to 7 minutes. Just stay out.
So
okay.
You first say introduce the speech. The project is this and that from this pathway level 1. And then you say, can I call the evaluator? You say the name to read the project objectives. They get up, they read that part of the evaluation form. Then you say, thank you, DJ or Dhananjay, whatever you want to use. You ask him what he prefers. And then from there, and then you said, now the timing for this project is 5 to 7 minutes. And then here, let's see how we want to.
Let's say if the evaluator said the timing for this sequence is 5 to 7 minutes, do I still have to repeat again when I introduce the speaker? That's repeating.
Each speaker, you have to say the timing. You say the project name. Evaluator reads the objectives. You say thank you, and then you say the timing. This is 5 to 7 minutes, right?
Okay.
Now I really recommend here you could do the intro first and then the title. I kind of think is more smooth if you first say the title. So actually, let's think about what you think is more smooth, because you have to deliver it, right? So now you're going to introduce Glendon Tell. Let's go through this motions here. The next speaker is doing, let's just see here. Next speaker, this evening will be in the project name, writing a speech with purpose from the pathway dynamic leadership level 1. If you really, really feel like it, you could even say this is an amazing project, or in this project, you'll learn how to be a better writer. Like if you want, or you could just read it. It's up to you if you want the audience, right?
Okay.
Right. You decide what you think works best. So then you say that, and then they go, can I call the evaluator? They say it. They read it quickly. Thank you, Dhananjay. And then here, let's figure out. So now you have to say the intro, the name, and then the title, speech title. So we could go, should we do the intro first or speech title? Feel it out right now.
You should do intro first. Then you end up with the title. I think you should do the intro first and all that. Then I end up with the title. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to do that 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you, Dhananjay. This project is, let me see here. The timing sequence for this project is 5 to 7 minutes. And then you let's read the title here. Glendon is an avid animal lover and absolutely loves dogs. But once in a while, he was actually terrified of them. Please join him as he tells the story on how he conquered his fear to affection. Speech title, Conquering my first fear. No, I think it's better to do the speech title. It's a weird one, huh? Because
No,
then you'll
I
come
also
on stage.
think about it and so on. It also depends on flow and so on, and how I script the thing to say introduce him. I think
I think
it
what
can be
flow you
interchangeable.
can make work. Yeah, if you want the title at the end, but definitely it has to be please welcome on stage Glendon Tell, and then he comes up. Like that has to be the light thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of weird to introduce him and then you say the speech title. It's kind of a weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then he comes on stage, and it's very important that you shake their hands, give them energy, and say good luck. Now,
Okay.
why is that important? Because you're responsible for the mood of the room. Now, it's to your best interest that everybody here feels as pumped as possible, because then they'll deliver better speeches. So you shaking their hands, smiling, just like you give them energy. You're going to give them that extra boost to help that speech be that much better. You get what I mean? So then you have to think of what ways is Valerie able to give people energy? What works for you? Is it shaking their hand, giving them a hug, or like
no.
You know what I mean? You have to figure out what works for you, because you're managing this whole thing. So if Glendon is feeling like he's like nervous, and somehow you're able to get that rid of him, like it's like you're gonna rock it or amazing, good luck. I'm really looking forward to hearing you right now. Like maybe you give him that boost, like you figure it out. You're gonna greet the speakers before the meeting. Before the meeting starts, and you're gonna feel them out. You're gonna see who's nervous, who's ready, who's like, like who is like doesn't, you know what I mean? Like somebody might arrive late. There's gonna be all sorts of situations going on, by the way, and you just gotta be ready for it. You gotta be ready for someone coming late. So then all of a sudden you have to change the sequence. You gotta be ready for someone maybe canceling Monday. You just gotta be ready for anything, because you have to manage. You have to make sure the show goes on. So my opinion, since you want to have the best mood possible, you somehow making Glenn feel good as he goes on stage is to your benefit, because the meeting is going to have excitement. So then let's pretend Glenn does a good job. You're taking notes. You don't always have to make comments about Glenn's speech. I'm going to tell you a couple of tactics you have, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of approaches that work.
Okay.
First, let's hear the sequence here. So blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then you go, thank you, Glendon. And then you can make some sort of comment here. There's 3 approaches you have here. You come back on stage, you shake Glendon's hands like, oh, great job, or like, thank you, or wherever you want to do it. But like somehow you just are very thankful to him for the fact that he even had the strength to go on stage and give a speech, because it's quite cool. And then the 3 approaches that you have are the following. Either you can say nothing. You just kind of go on to the next speech. That's one. Second approach is that you make some comments, 1 or 2 lines. Like let's say Glendon's speech, what is it about? Conquering my fear, and it talks about dogs, is it right? Yeah, dogs, okay. You could go up there as like, well, that was really interesting. Like I have 2 dogs at home, and like all my friends are afraid of them, so I have almost nobody come visit. Like I'm just making this up on the spot, but you could say something like that. The one, my opinion, that has worked the best. So if you feel the room is disengaged, let's pretend that Glendon was a bit boring. Let's just pretend that was the case, right? The tactic I've seen works very well is that when you go up, you ask the audience a question about Glendon's speech. First of all, what happens, what's very important for you to know, is that when people come on stage and they have a bad experience, very high probability you'll never see them again. So if Glendon's speech is a complete failure, it's an 80% chance you won't see him again. So you need to save that situation, right? Because you want Glendon to come back and do a speech, not to give up on himself. So something like asking the audience, it'll show Glendon, oh, people actually listen to my speech. That'll right away make it go from 80% not coming back to like maybe 60, right? Just the fact that somebody, he realizes that, okay, I thought I sucked, but people actually heard my speech. They actually paid attention. Like, you don't know what is going through him emotionally, right? Like, you cannot always understand. So that tactic I've noticed works really well. Like Guarantee often does that. He's very good TME, as you know. So he'll ask the audience a question. Guarantee, you know Guarantee?
No, I don't know.
Oh yeah, he's one of our best. I'll show you a photo and then you'll recognize him right away.
Oh, yeah, Guarantee. I thought, who was it? Guarantee.
Him.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about. So he does that tactic usually. He's a very good TME, and that's what I noticed he does. Like I observed that when the energy was low, he'll ask the audience question, and then like he brings it back up. Because engaging the audience wakes them up, right?
Correct.
It's easier said than done to get the audience to answer questions. So you have to see what you feel you could deliver. But I noticed that tactic works well. The simplest one is just to make comments that you wrote about like something about the speech. Oh, I have 2 dogs, and because they bite people, my friends never come over. And like something silly. Maybe they'll laugh, maybe not. You have to figure that out. But you're gonna be on the spot writing stuff. You're also able to not just say nothing. You don't have to always say something. Like if it's a very good speaker, you don't have to say something. You could just say, it's like, wow, that was amazing. Thank you, Regine. Let's pretend Regine did a killer speech, right? Thank you, Regine. That was amazing. And then it's like, and you can even make a comment like, you know, Regine, this is only her 3rd speech, and look how amazing she is. It's like, let's give her a hand of applause, you know, like something like that.
Okay.
Now, the next speaker, right? You can say something like that. You can make the comment, and then engaging the audience, asking the audience a question about the speech usually is the best tactic to bring them in. Like if you feel the energy is low, you bring them in that way, right? So then here, maybe the energy be middle. I don't know if I remember him speaking, but I think he was like a middle level, so it's not so bad. Regine's going to have high energy, right? So then you'll introduce Regine. Our next speaker is doing dynamic leadership level 1, evaluation and feedback part 1. Can we call the evaluator, which is is Devashish Dab. He's a DTM, so he's a very skilled evaluator. If he's DTM,
he's a guest, right?
He's a guest. Yeah, Regine invited him specifically for her, so she wanted to get herself a very good evaluator, so she invited him. So then he'll read out the objectives, and then you'll say thank you, Devashish. I think I met him before. Yeah, he's a very good evaluator. I met him. They say thank you, Devashish, and then you'll do the same thing again. The next meeting is the time sequence is 5 to 7 minutes. The title of the speech is called Appreciation. And next up is the person who is a full-time auditor, a part-time Zumba goer, an active TikToker. She believes in the power of words just like money. Let's welcome Regine Lai. And I actually follow her on TikTok, and she's really funny, actually. I actually really entertained by her videos. So actually, that's funny that she mentioned that. You could even say it's like, oh, I watched her TikTok videos, and they're really funny or really educative. And she'll like that because then you're also promoting her TikTok. Like she'll appreciate that someone even looked at her TikTok. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So things like that, like you just looking at one of her videos is going to go a long way for you to get Regine to even like present even higher. Like if during this intro you say I've watched her TikTok videos are amazing or whatever you say, this will boost her up. That's an amazing way to boost somebody up, right?
Okay, good. I have a question. You say the speaker's review, right? You say comment, say nothing, ask question. How about humor? Humor the speech that was done. Is it poke fun is not good or something like that?
Humor. Sorry, I didn't understand. Where do you want to use the humor? What part?
I mean, it's like
between speakers.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got it. So yeah, remember I was saying there's 3 approaches. You say nothing, you make comment about the speech, or you ask a question, right? When you say something, yeah, of course you could do humor there. That's you could use humor, or you could just say something serious. It's up to you. My opinion with humor is that humor is an amazing tool to engage your audience. It's a very, very good tool. And but let's pretend this was a humorous speech. It wouldn't make sense to add more humor, right? Because you kind of right. But humor is a good one. I would say that you use it like if you make all of them funny, then you have to have a consistent kind of humor approach, right? Which needs to be a little bit like like not pre-coached, but like you need to like feel, because you know humor is a lot about delivery.
Mm.
You get what I
Okay.
mean? Like if I tell a joke and I don't have that energy, it doesn't sound funny. It's got
Okay.
to be like you deliver it.
Mm.
So maybe you could do one or two. I personally recommend humor, but I would
I will
suggest
see
to
how it
follow.
is. Yeah. Because it depends. Is there anything funny or not? Yeah.
I would tell you what I think. Usually, what I recommend for the TMEs is that you're still going to be nervous here. You're going to be
Mm.
nervous here, and then first one for sure, you're slightly nervous, and
Mm.
then this transition here, you're going to be nervous. So don't try humor here yet because humor is delivery. You're not at your confident zone yet here. Here you might start being confident. So at the first one, deliver something you feel comfortable you can deliver. So if it's humor, that's fine. But maybe here you just get the easiest one is to just get the audience to go, wow, that was an amazing speech. Thanks, Glendon. And you get them to cheer or you ask the question. That's the easiest one because you bring the energy up and you are reducing your own anxiety since you're going from one speaker to another. And then there's going to be a point where you feel confident. It could be here, it could be here. There's going to be some time, hopefully earlier than later, but there's going to be a point where you're just in the zone, right? Like you feel it. You're in the zone, you know what to do. And that's when I would suggest you start doing the humor. So if you reach the zone around here, do it between here, right? Then you start experimenting. You'll experiment with humor where you tell a joke, but remember, joke is delivery. So you have to have the body language, the smirk, and like pauses, right? Then you tell the joke or the humorous thing. I highly recommend humor, but like I said, I recommend it once you feel you're in the zone because then it'll be much better delivered. Because if you deliver a joke and no one laughs, you're going to lose your confidence to deliver any more jokes the rest of the day. So best to do when you're ready.
Okay. If like we have to speed up a bit because I need to leave soon. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So basically now you got this basic sequence here. It's going to go like that.
Yep.
The rest is just the same motions over and over. Get to know who the speakers are, shake their hands, speak to them before, manage the risk. Then you're going to have the timing sequence here. You're going to go, can I get the timer to introduce a timing sequence? It's very good to coach her not to read everybody's time, just to kind of make it short. You can maybe say, can I get the timer CT to tell us if anybody's disqualified? If you phrase it that way, she'll say, oh, no, everybody has qualified. Thank you, CT. Because you're also managing the clock, right? You're managing the clock. Got to be on time.
All right.
And then you have, can we get the SA Chandra to have the voting? And then once again, you go to your slides. Let's go through the slides. You just make sure the right sequence. So here you have the last speech. I didn't know where I am anymore. Yeah, last speech, the timer, and then vote for the speaker. Here you got to make it exciting and clear to the whole audience. Now, everybody, it's time to vote for the best speaker. There's a lot of right on the line. You can make it exciting the way you want, like, because I'm gonna give a bag of chocolates for the best speaker on Monday.
Okay.
So maybe you could even say it's like a lot right on the line. That chocolate that we're giving away is so delicious. Like, because it's a chocolate you could only get in Norway. You can't get in Singapore. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
So you could say like that and then explain to people how to vote. Half of them are new in your head, right? So everybody, please get out your phones and scan the QR code and vote for your favorite speaker. We'll keep it there for a minute so you can all get to vote. And then eventually you look at the crowd. Has everybody voted? Are people still stumbling with their phone? Are they confused? If you see nobody taking their phone, it means they don't understand what's happening. And then you could just maybe take out the phones. Like, yeah, just easy. Go like this. Take a shot. You vote for the speaker. It's like whatever. You just you'll see the crowd and you can see if people are voting or not. And then you just try your best to get them to vote.
Okay.
Keep it for a minute at most, maybe two at most. Depends how. Usually a minute. And then you say, okay, guys, now we're going to go for a 10-minute break or whatever the break is. So if you end, let's say 8:20 and it's a 10-minute break, it's like it's 8:20 right now. Please come back for 8:30. Enjoy your break, like something like that. Or if it's 8:23, 10-minute break, please come back 8:33. It's good that you give the time because half the people are new. If you don't say a time, say 10 minutes, for sure they're going to be confused. right? So you're managing the risk. You give the break, blah, blah, blah. And then the hardest part is two things. To get people in the room, really hard. You've been enough meetings at TMCS, hard to get people in the room. So what I suggest is 6:55 in advance. You already have the SAAs. You gather like a group of 4 people to go outside and get people in the room. Nikhil is very good at getting people in the room, so try to get him. He's skilled at that for some reason, so we keep using him. Get 4 people, go around 6:55 to start getting people in the room, and you want to start exactly 7. It shows professionalism. If you start 7:05, 7:06, it just takes away that professionalism from the meeting. But starting exactly 7:00 reflects very well on you as a TME. And then you're going to have to do the same here, get people back in the room, right? But it's less important here compared to the beginning, because at the start, everybody should be in the room for the beginning. Here it's like, okay, you're bringing them in, but it's okay if you stay outside, but you close the front door and all that. The BPs know, but I'm just also giving the instructions so you're aware. And now you're going to introduce table topics. So you're going to introduce table topics. You explain what it is, because there's a lot of people that don't know what it is. This is the fun part. For all you guests, this is the time for you to shine, to come up on stage and feel the adrenaline of public speaking. Whatever you want to do to sell it, this is make it very exciting. Make the guests feel like, yeah, I want to go up there and speak, you know? And then I think the sequence maybe should be like this. Like this. 1 second. You come up. It looks like here, first you do the timing sequence. I'm just kind of looking at it here. You introduce, then you do the timing sequence very quickly.
Yeah.
And then, 1 second. I'm just kind of confused here why the sequence of this. Give me 1 second.
Take a topic segment.
Yeah, I don't think we need this slide here.
Right.
Okay, I'll keep it like that. And then we need a slide of Jason. We need Jason here.
Correct.
Yeah, so now it's table topics. And then, yeah, maybe we want to have it here.
No, I think what I know, no. You should put me first. Put me. Then you put the R counter. Oh, there's
timer?
no table topics. No, sorry, it should be table topic segment first. Where's the table topic segment?
Yeah, so table topics. It's just like a slide, table topics. It doesn't introduce a segment yet.
Oh, okay.
Then timer, and then here we need Jason. So this one here is incorrect. So I'm just going to correct it here, and then you remember to change it. Let me just make sure I spelled his name right. Yes, I did. And then I'll just delete your photo, okay?
Okay, yeah.
And then the SAA knows that they to put a photo here, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Then they come on stage. They do their show. It's very important that you have control. Remember, you're managing all risk. So it's good to speak to Jason in advance. Jason, can you tell us a little bit about, can you just run this table talk based by me, or just show me, or just tell me a little bit, right? Just so you're in the loop. Now there's something going on here that they didn't tell you, okay? There's a surprise segment.
Correct.
You know already?
I know.
Okay. So you have to somehow incorporate that. There's going to be, Jessica is supposed to make a farewell video. So please align with her. Is that 1 minute video? And then Su Ching is going to come on stage for about 2-3 minutes at most and give a farewell to Jason.
Yeah.
So you know that we don't put it on the agenda for obvious reasons.
Right.
And you manage that and just
it's
make sure that it feels, since you're controlling the mood, make it feel emotional, make it feel like really like, people get up and clap for him and he feels like a proper goodbye,
Okay.
So I would suggest you get the people to get up and clap for him and just say thank you and whatever you feel works.
How long has Jason been in the club and all that? Do you know?
It's been over 2 years, but Jason has done quite a bit of extracurricular. Like he started our book club and is one of our most successful non-chapter meeting events. And he has done quite a few like those extracurricular things. He's been very involved in that and given his time for that. So yeah, even though it's been 2 years, is still I think enough time, but he has done a lot. So he has contributed a lot. So for me, for sure, he deserves to get recognition, right?
Okay.
So we do that. Somehow you have to figure out the sequence. You want the timing sequence and mentee and then farewell to Jason, or do you want to do farewell to Jason first and then this? You decide with the VP.
No, yeah. Anyway, tomorrow discuss again, but the thing we put in the timing under voting of mentee, under voting. So after the timer, when say mentee, then after that, I said when they are I say voting, then switching will have to be walking up there to like do a surprise, something like that. Yeah.
Yes. So you reflect on it by the time you speak to the VPs, and then by tomorrow you already kind of visualize it and you explain to them, let's do it this way, because you're controlling the mood in the room. You're the general on stage.
Yeah. So I'm still be in touch with switching. I haven't had time to text him first. So I will.
And Jessica for the video too, just to make sure.
Okay.
So then after that, it's over. We do the emotional part and all that. Where did it go? Here. And then we have a group photo for that reason, right? Just to say bye to him. But it's not going to be like everybody goes on stage. It's more like Jason and maybe Suchin, and maybe I'll go on stage if they want. Whoever he wants on stage. I know that he's close friends with Lisa. So maybe Lisa wants to go on stage. Okay. And maybe, they could be just them. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So then I mean, if she goes on stage, I don't want to take the experience. So I won't go on just to like not create conflict. You know what I mean? So whatever they want, just figure it out, and then I just follow. If you want me there or not there, you just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Do the group photo, and then you go to evaluations. So we're almost done. They introduce this. Definitely 50% of people don't understand the value of this. So if you just see evaluations, it's not sufficient. You need to help them understand, like maybe give an example, like what's a very valuable skill for being a manager or to like be a leader is to give people evaluation. And evaluation does not mean, or feedback does not mean just telling them what they did wrong. It's about learning how to inspire people, how to like first focus on the good points and then encourage them to like, I want to be better, right? Like you could say something like that. You get what I mean? And then that'll be a very clear explanation. People are like, oh wow, that's something I want to be an evaluator one day. Like then they'll be interested, especially if they're new, right? So it's a very powerful skill set to learn. So then you do the timing sequence very quickly. And then first evaluator. So then here, if we go to the script, and then evaluating Glendo Teal's speech, we have DJ, and then you do the introduction. Please welcome on stage Dhananjay Sharma, right? Or you could just call him DJ. You have to ask him what he prefers, right?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you copy the name and paste at the top for me later? Yeah.
Oh yeah, here you mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it here because this is automated form, is linked to some sort of program. So you have to ask Sophie, because there's something here feeding the data. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, because if I do it, then I screw up the script for her. So yeah, but she'll do it, and then it's good because then every meeting going forward, then she'll put the evaluator, and it'll be good practice. You know what I mean? Yeah. So tell her tomorrow, because like I said, it's a form. So they introduce DJ, short intro. DJ hasn't been around in a while. He's a little discouraged. So it's good to make him feel excited to be an evaluator. So, because we're going to regain him back to want to enjoy being a TMCS, right? Here, what's important here is because we have a visitor. He's a DTM, and he's a very skilled evaluator, and he's very good for us to like kind of connect, link up with other clubs. So it's very important that when you call him, think we have a visiting DTM. We're honored to have a visiting BTM today. He's actually been the founding president of this club, it seems. So you could say this and just make sure that we give him a proper welcome and thank you that he came to our club and is helping us, right? Like it's very important for our relationships with other clubs, this kind of things, that they feel respected. So here you're aware that to show that extra appreciation, right? Then you'll have Allison. And then let's figure out the mood of the room. So as here, the mood, middle, high energy. She's quite good, high. Here would be a little confusing. So, when you come on after Nikhil, the room might be confused. You're ready for that energy mentally. It's like, how do I make it unconfused, right? Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Then Martin is a good speaker. Sometimes it could be his voice is a little quiet. He stutters a bit, so it might be a little unclear. So then maybe you want to make something to make it feel more clear, because you're managing the energy, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Joanne has a middle energy, clear speaker, emotional, like kind of makes you think. So then it's kind of maybe you want to be reflective here. And then
No,
so
now in the evaluation, yeah, you need to scroll down. Yeah.
yeah, no, but I'm just saying the energy here as you go through person, you have that mindset. Now let's go to here. The same principle is going to apply here. So this guy is going to be a superstar. I watched him. He's very good.
Okay.
And then it's like you could say wow, whatever you want to say. Allison is very, very good. Edward has not been involved in a while, so it's very important to make him feel welcome as well. So we have DJ has not been a while, and then Edward. So very important that you make him feel good. He is a good evaluator. Just make him feel good. It's been a while. I'm actually very happy he's coming back and doing this evaluation.
Some notes, because he said that let the TME decide how to introduce him.
Okay, so you can make it something fun, make it something that where he feels really welcome. He was our VPE before, right? He's a very good VPE actually. He's a very good VPE, and then you could add. Yeah, you could figure out actually. Be creative how you want to introduce him. And then he had these funny photos where he was our contest chair, not contest chair. He was like the CTM, which helps the contest chair. He had this funny photo. He had this like sunglasses. He kind of like he did a speech where he put on sunglasses. He kind of looked like trying to be cool, funny. Like it was quite a cool speech actually. So you could figure out what you want to say, but just we need to be empathetic. He hasn't been there in a while. Let's make him feel welcome again, right? Same with DJ. He hasn't been there in a while, right? Recently, Allison has been going through some personal hard times, so let's make her feel good about being there. Also, she's been going through a little bit. Su Chen, it's going to be a little emotional because Jason's leaving and he has to give that speech, and it's very nice of him to do that. And also like his wife is sick, so like it's important to be empathetic to these people often, right? Then Churkin just likes to be.
Wait, Su Ching was a contest. In the district contest, or what contest before, right?
I forgot if he made this division level. No, he didn't make district. He either made division level or area level. I forgot which one he ended up.
The last week, but I can't remember.
I think he was district level, not district, sorry, division, because there's district, division, area, and then the club, right? So he didn't make it to district. That's the final one. But he made it. I think he was in the division, the one before.
Okay.
But I can't. I'm not 100% sure. Minimal area or division. So yeah, he's a very great guy. Like I said, wife is sick. So it's very important to be empathetic to these people. Actually, quite a few of the evaluators besides him, not him, but they've been a little out of the loop lately, and it's just good to make them feel good that this is a community. We care about our members, so it's important to give those energies to them. Here you're gonna have Chur Kim. Chur Kim very well. He's a funny guy. He likes to be. He likes it when people say the sexiest guy at Toastmasters. He's like,
oh, is it?
You know how he is. You just figure out how you want to amuse him. For some reason, he likes. He just likes when people kind of, what's it called? Jack. Oh, 1 second. I need to tell you this one because you're gonna understand the joke. Chuck Norris. You know Chuck Norris, right?
Yeah, I know.
You know how they make all those Chuck Norris jokes? Like Chuck Norris.
Not
Chuck
from
Norris
the era. I know
cure
him, but
cancer, but too bad he never cries. So there's all these jokes about Chuck Norris, like he's a tough guy. Like Chuck Norris's cure cancer, unfortunately never cries, and all these other things. So I would say Chuck Kim is like Chuck Norris. Like he likes that type of jokes about him, right? Like, so you could amuse him. Up to you how you want to do it. You could just read this.
Okay.
But just it makes it fun. Like if you want to bring the energy up, and you make like those kind of things, he's gonna come up laughing, and it's just gonna be more entertaining. Okay. Here is a very important guest. This is the very, very, very important guest. I need to message him today actually too. What is going on? He's the president of Money Mastery. So he just got elected. And what you don't know that is happening here is that I'm going to approach him about a possible partnership with our club. So that's why he got invited. That was one of the reasons to first welcome him to our club. So it's very important that you do a very good welcome here. Make him feel very enticed. And I'm I've spoken to him before. He always made me feel very welcome at Money Mastery. So I want to return the favor at our club, right? And the second thing is that I want to speak to him afterwards because I want to propose 2 partnerships with him that hopefully he wants to collaborate. And one of them is basically about the social events. I wanted to propose joint social events between Money Mastery and TMCS. And then we propose that each club does it other month, right? So 1 month Money Mastery, 1 month TMCS. This way the events are bigger and we get to know each other, and we're both the biggest club, so we have a lot to learn from each other. And it creates a nice bond between the 2 clubs. That's one. Second one that you're not aware of is I'm trying to bring the humor contest this year. And it's a very difficult contest to bring because they haven't done it in Singapore in a few years. So first I'm going to approach Hakeem, the division district director. Is a low probability he's going to agree to do it. So then the second proposal is that I'm going to take 4 big clubs, including Money Mastery, and I'm going to propose that we do a joint humor contest together. So first we have one in our own clubs. We get the top 3 or top 2, and then we have like 4 or 5 big clubs, and then we have one competition where they all send their top 2 or 3, and then we have a contest, and then we give some sort of trophies amongst whoever competes, right?
Okay, great.
That's the thinking. So I'm going to approach him about this. So it's good that he feels welcomed, proper intro. And like I said, whenever I've been to Money Mastery, he always made me feel incredible. So I think it's fair that we do that. The same for him.
By the way, before all these speaker evaluators, are they who is like ushering them or putting them to the front of the place and so on, prepare them so that they come in early? Then as a host, TME for the night also can know and see them. Yeah,
so the instructions they get are in the chat group here, right? So then let's put speakers, July 8 speakers. So here's all the instructions. So here's what they've been told to get the evaluation form. And then they also got told to arrive a little early, and they sit in the second row, right?
I don't think I'm inside this. Can you check whether my name is inside?
Okay, let me add you in case you're not. No, so I need to, in the video, VPEs, if you're listening to this part, please make sure that the TME is added to all the chat groups. So please note that.
So besides this, is there any other chat group?
Yeah, I'm going to add you to all of them right now. Let me just write,
This is the main one, right? The speakers, because there's a one-day main
there's 3.
Yeah. Oh,
there's 3. But what you need to know is that we're doing 3 right now as the VPs are learning, and then the goal is eventually when they have control, we're going to make it 1. But that's just like a development route, so that you don't need to worry about that. But let me add you here.
Maybe we can do it later. Yeah, this one we can wrap up now. Don't mind, because I'm late already. I'm going to be very late for my dinner.
Yeah. So I'm just going to show you here. Now you've been added. So what happens here is that they get instructions. They got to sit on the second row. So make sure to sit the second row, and then the evaluators have to get a table. So they also have to sit at the table so they could be comfortable, including Barry. Make sure Barry has a table and can sit and write stuff out. So make sure he has a seat reserved. I'm going to be there too. So I'll also remind you guys, but like all of us together, then we don't forget. And then, yeah, I'm going to add you here too, just before I forget. Otherwise I will forget, because there's so many calls I have that the moment I go to the next call, it's just like next topic, you know what I mean? Yes. And then, okay, so let's wrap this up. So then you have, you understand the importance of Barry. We do this here, and then you're going to do the all counter. And then Vinov is going to do, that's a difficult segment to sound exciting. So it's good to coach them in advance. I really suggest 2 minutes here. So maybe if you can remember, also put 2 minutes, and I think they need 2 minutes. One's too short. Then they do the mentee voting, right? So let's just see here. Barry, and then you have, they forgot the all counter here. Here he is. Yeah, you have to figure out the sequence that you want here. Let's just. Is
there a new mentorship program or no?
Sorry?
The mentorship program is the last, is it? You're going to talk about it or not?
Sorry, it was just me playing around with the slides. I'm going to put this in my club announcement, so you could ignore it for now. I'm going to add it later, but so yeah, then evaluator, so best evaluator, and then you have the all counters report,
Yes.
and then it's over. You're gonna come here. You're gonna do
Hey, that's
2 minutes.
oh, the
Thank you.
title is wrong, right? So that one is the not table topics, but it's like conclusion or something like that, right? Closing address, right? Because it was
Here's
stated.
closing and awards. That's a good title.
No, the slide with my picture on it, just before
Oh, I
yours.
see.
Becomes
Yeah,
table
I see.
topics segment.
So then here we go. Let me just call it the same as this. It's called closing remarks. Let me just copy and paste it. Okay.
I think you better do it not copy and paste after the font change.
No, like this, but it's too long. So we gotta
Just
figure
closing
out
remarks. Don't need by. Just closing remarks.
by TME.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so
Maybe-
then you have that there. You're gonna have 2 minutes. You say whatever you want. I honestly recommend the following. I honestly recommend that you spend a minute asking the audience how was their experience, maybe engaging them and just saying, just putting a conclusion, and then 1 minute where you express what it felt for you, like how, if you're thankful, or I'm so grateful to do this, or I learned this, guys. So in case you do it, like you
Yeah,
express yourself.
learning.
Yeah.
I should say something about learning to the team. Yeah.
Yeah, because the theme is learning journey. So maybe you could express how, like, because you're gonna learn, you're gonna feel something different at the end. So then you could express that in those 2 minutes, saying that this was an amazing learning journey for me, and I hope you guys take on it too one day as TME. It was a lot of work, blah blah blah, and thank you everybody that helped me, and hope everybody, like, you figure out what you want to say. I mean, you don't have to say anything about yourself if you don't want, but I think it's a nice part for you to show what you learned. People will like to hear how you developed from this experience, right? Because then it'll inspire them to want to do it.
Okay.
And then you do your 2. If you want 3 minutes, you ask if you want it longer, you ask the BP for an extra minute. And then you're gone. And then I need to add one slide here that I don't see for some reason. Here it is. So I want to have this standing ovation. This is a new thing, so I'm still trying it. Okay. So we want to have the standing ovation for you. And then actually bring me in first. And then I'll do the standing ovation for you. Let's do it that way, huh?
Okay.
We'll try this sequence. So then you bring me in. Now it's over. So we're closing time right now. And I'm going to do club announcements. So I need to add those slides. I have not finished them yet because it's my first time doing the closing slides. So I'll have them ready by tomorrow. So then I'll add the closing slide things. And then I'll do the awards. And then I'm supposed to give like a 1 minute speech where I recap the whole thing. Where well, like, wasn't that amazing, guys? And I'm supposed to supposedly do like a recap of everything we learned today. So I should have a comment about every kind of speech, like just from this to that to this, just like a 1 minute where it recaps everything we learned. And then how amazing it is to join TMCS, like a 1 minute sales thing. And then I do the announcements. That's what I'm supposed to do. So I need to figure that out.
So anyway, mine is ended there already, right? Then you just finish it.
You're ended, and then basically your last part is that I'm gonna ask for a 10-second standing ovation for you, which is here. And then yeah, that's it. Then you're done.
Okay.
Your job is over. And then well, you have to still manage the clock though till the very end, right? So if I'm going over time, you got to tell me, hey, Vlad.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it's over. And then that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you
How
so
do you
much.
feel?
Yeah, much clearer because the agenda is quite long and so on. And I think each time is will change and so on. But I think getting the preparation and your mindset to be able to be flexible to tweak and change accordingly. Yeah, I think it's very important.
What I want you to do, hopefully you could do it right after a meeting, but if not, do the next day, because the BPs are also learning, if you could give a very quick, at the end of the meeting, like 5 minutes to the VPs about your feedback about how the TME role was, what you think could improve, what you felt that you didn't get coached on that you wish maybe you could add, because then the VPs are learning from this, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So if you give that, that would really go a long way with them to learn.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
stop.
your screen is a bit funny. Yeah.
It's